we're essentially building a tech solution to support public sector. And what we want to do is we want to allow any public sector, local authority, housing association, landowner, whomever, to become a developer and do direct delivery themselves without having the resources constraint. So these are kind of the 5 products that we're bringing to market. We've won Innovate UK funding for all of these. So we've already done the research, we're bringing them forward. And the one that I'm actually going to talk about now, which is the one that we've got live, is the site investigation offering that we've got. The others will be coming live shortly. So this is kind of the typical site investigation process for any site. So if you're a local authority, housing association, or whomever, you need to go through this whole process, which is super laborious. So identify what services are required on each site. So asbestos survey, utilities, environmentals, ecology, UXO, whatever. Shortlist all the supply chain partners that you need to use, qualify the supply chain partners, create a scope of service for each service. This never gets done, which is a bit of an issue, because if you go to ecology surveyors, you might get prices for different kind of scopes. And then doing all the tendering and procurement, which is one element of the platform, managing all the work and site visits. And then the hardest bit is someone in your team has to read and digest all of these WeTransfer documents that they get sent over by email, and it takes them a very long time, and somehow they have to suggest to their boss and line manager what the recommendation is for the site. So it's super laborious. And from conversations with our initial local authority and housing association clients, we've identified that this process takes about 6 weeks of in-house management time for a development manager, and then about 6 weeks for the supply chain to complete the work. So in total, about 12 weeks. What we've done through our platform is we've reduced the 6 weeks of management time for you and your team to less than an hour. So with us, the only things you do is you upload a site, it takes 10 minutes. You then receive a public sector compliant tender within 5 days. You review that tender in 20 minutes, and then the suppliers do their work, upload their report, and we produce all the data in one dashboard, which you will then get, and you just review that in 30 minutes. So essentially super, super easy. And these are some of the kind of key benefits from using the platform. So 90% resource reduction, 2 times faster, and aggregated data, and loads of benchmark analysis. And these are just an example of all the surveys that we currently offer. We're continuously adding to this as new clients are asking for new surveys. So these are the ones that we currently offer. And just to show you quickly the platform. So here it is. If you want to do site investigation, for example, this is how easy it is. You upload a site, let's say 3Fox demo, and then you answer some very simple questions. Are there any buildings on the site? Are there any trees on the site, etc., etc. Based on what you answer here, it recommends which surveys you should do on the site. And then you can go in and you can say, okay, we don't need this one, or we don't need that one because we've got our own legal team, whatever it might be. But this is you defining your scope. Then you upload some documents, so red line boundary. So this can be, that needs to be included. Title of ownership, that's just a example document I've got. Title of ownership, development proposals, so might be 10 homes, 2 stories, whatever it might be, if proposals if you've got them. Site access instruction, so open to the public, or you need to pick up keys at this location, whatever it might be. And then it tells you within 5 working days, you're going to have your tender return back for all of those surveys for 3 suppliers minimum. And then on the 17th of June, you'll have the full reports. So that's it. You submitted it, you confirm, you're happy to progress, go to the dashboard, and there your site is out for tender now. It's now just been sent out to our supply chain. So you can see for all of our surveys, you click on any of these and you can see who's already on our supply chain. So we've already got vetted suppliers for all of these who've passed our thorough pre-qualification process, and they will basically receive a tender on their platform. This is a supplier platform. They just look at a tender and there's a 3Fox demo, and super easy. They just click, yeah, confirm we're going to tender, and they'll upload their reports. What happens now is within 5 days, we capture all that data and we produce this report to you. So you get a notification, you click on tender report. So for example, this site, and there it is. That's the tender report, digital tender report for all of the surveys on your site. You can then select which ones you don't want. So you might think, oh, that's a bit too expensive for this stage, so we don't want that right now, or we don't want that one, whatever it might be. Then the cost changes, and then you progress and essentially confirm. And as soon as you progress forward, that site will now move to live project. As soon as a contract signed, the suppliers will get notified that they're successful. They do the work. And the best thing is that we manage all of that. They upload their reports on our platform, so they don't send you these horrible WeTransfer documents. And they answer some questions on our platform, which allows us to produce a very simple report for you. So you then just get notified at the end of it, your report's ready, you click here. So for example, Chapecroft, and in one view, you instantly see a traffic light rating of all of your surveys for that site. You know that all of these surveys are fine, ready to go, there's no issues. You can, for example, click on any of them, Archaeology Survey, there's the report, there's a consideration that the supplier has mentioned. And the best bit is that now you know exactly which 4 have recommendations against them. So you can go into Ecology Survey, for example, and there's a report, there's all the appendices, and at the bottom, it highlights, the supplier has highlighted and pulled out what the key recommendations are for you. So you know exactly what the next steps are. So you need to do a bat survey, it's going to cost this much, it's going to take this long, and you need to do it at the site investigation stage. And also you should do bird watch, reptile and hedgehog mitigation, and that's required at the construction stage. So it's about giving you access to data, super simple, so you can analyze all your different sites, you know what you need to do to the next stage, and you can instruct all the extra work through our platform as well, and we'll get it taken care of. And then here, you can also go back and check the tender report that you previously received. You can share the outcome. You can download an audit report if anyone asks you how was this procured, and you can download a summary of all of this to present to your board or whoever needs it. There you go. So that was a very quick demo. I hope you liked it.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Gonzalo. That was really interesting. We've got a question from the audience straight away about quality control, and I guess it's quite a broad question. But where is the quality control in this process? And there's a sort of risk management aspect to this, isn't there?
Yeah. So quality control is dealt with. So I used to work for Arcadis previously, working in public sector affordable housing. So I did a lot of public sector procurement and became the youngest fellow of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. So everything that we do is RICS kind of best practice and British standard best practice. So we already defined all of our kind of pre-qualifications. The suppliers who are on there have already passed. And as a client, you get access to check our pre-qualification process. So you're happy to see that. Once they're on the platform, when they tender, we need 5 days because we're checking their tenders, making sure that there's nothing they missed when they put that on. And then that goes forward. And then when they actually do all the work, they need to do the work as per our scope of service. So we've written kind of a best practice scope of service for every one of those individual services based on kind of all British standards, RICS, etc. And the suppliers, we check that when they upload their reports, it matches against our scope of services so that we can demonstrate to you that it's best practice. And all you've done is click a few buttons and is high quality and public sector compliant.
Fantastic. Gonzalo, thank you very much indeed for the demonstration. Mark, have you got any questions on the system?
Thank you. I've had quite a long conversation previously with Gonzalo. So I mean, I think it looks like a really, really good offer, particularly for people who are just starting out, who haven't put together the kind of systems already that, for example, Barbara was mentioning at Westminster. But even for them, I think to look at how this compares really, and to see whether this could cut corners and be more effective and just take some of the the angst out of it really. So I think it's really worth looking at, and I'm really interested to see how this expands to other aspects of the process. I think particularly the issue around smaller sites and getting hold of contractors for those. So I've had a lot of experience with local authorities and their companies where, for smaller sites, the bigger players in the construction market just aren't interested for good reason, in terms of scale. But the smaller players, the SME builders, they need a lot more hand-holding, capacity building to actually put together the kinds of bids and so on to actually give confidence to local authorities who've never worked with them before. So actually building those relationships and building those quality assessments of the smaller builders, who I'm sure are up to the job, and from a lot of experience I've had, they are up to the job, but they don't know how to communicate that in the way that local authorities are familiar with. So I think that's a really rich area of growth that could be looked at.
Yeah, fantastic. Gonzalo, I'd really like your response to that. But also, we've got another question from the audience, so I'm going to throw that in as well, and you can deal with them both at the same time.
Sure.
And it's around legal liability. You know, what if there's a problem in the contract? Is the contract with you as a local authority? Is it with RenKap? Is it with the supplier? Where does the risk lie?
Yeah, so I'll tackle that one first. So in terms of the legals, we spent a lot of money on lawyers. Which was important, but we've got basically a contract between us and our client, which is in this instance a local authority, and we've also got a contract between us and every single supplier. Our contracts have been written in a way where all the rights and obligations go direct between the client and the supplier. So you've got back-to-back relationships throughout, as if you procured these people yourself. So we're acting essentially as an extension of your development team, and we will put all the procedures in place to mitigate any foul play or any issues or the quality, but we've also got the kind of legal backing behind it to make sure that we've got the right PI from all of our suppliers, the right insurances. And the cool thing is, because the PQQ is online, it automatically tells them to update their insurances whenever it goes out of date, and they can't tender for a project if they haven't done it. So we're incentivizing them to get easy access to public sector work. I say easy access because it's easier to tender, so they love it, but making sure that they're super high quality at the same time.
Yeah, interesting. And was there anything in what Mark was saying that you wanted to pick up on as well? Because I spoke over you, sorry.
Yeah, so some really good points there from Mark, and I would just say that our first clients are actually the larger local authorities and the larger housing associations, the ones that you think have their stuff set up, but they've realized, oh wow, there's a huge efficiency saving here, we can do more. We've got so many small sites that we've been ignoring previously. Let's tackle those. And now we want to start going towards the others who have previously maybe not didn't have the aspiration, but didn't have the resources. Now we want them to have those resources that they can deliver as well.
Yeah. What about so we've got a really engaging audience. Amandeep is asking about the sort of proprietary nature of software platforms. So local authorities don't want to be tied to a particular system that might kind of affect other aspects of their operations. So do you integrate it with other platforms like Land Insight or Apreo, or do you absorb all of those services as well?
Yeah, so I would say in reality, we're an extension of yourselves. So you can download the data, so the reports from our platform into your own systems super easily. So you don't have to, it doesn't feel like you're tied in. And yeah, so it's not like we don't have a subscription yearly annual thing. They pay us per project. So it allows clients to actually have much more flexibility and freedom. They can use whatever systems they want, download our data. You identify sites with Land Insight or whatever it might be, and then the next stage is, what do I do with these sites? I don't have capacity to even figure out if we can do site investigation. Well, we're the ones that help with the capacity all the way through, hopefully, to the construction stage, which is our future products.
Yeah, nice one. Mark, any last comments?
No, I mean, I think it's just really great to see this kind of product coming to the market, and you know, if it helps even, you know, a bunch of people to do something they couldn't have got their heads around before, it's really useful. And I think it's got a lot more potential than that. So really look forward to seeing it develop.
Great stuff. Well, we'll look forward to bringing more helpful solutions to local authority housing companies in the sessions to come. But in the meantime, Mark, thanks very much for sticking around. We've had Barbara and Janice for a while as well, but they both had to leave now. But Mark, thanks for sticking around to the bitter end.
You're welcome.
and Gonzalo, really appreciate the demo. That was really, really helpful. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
I hope you've provided some better sleep for lots of our viewers in the weeks and months and years to come.
Yeah, and we'll send out some summary kind of document of all of that, so they know how to contact us if they wish to, or book a demo. We'd love to hear from people.
Yep, we'll make sure that all the details get circulated to all of our registrants today. So, viewers, thank you again for paying attention and being part of this Voice of Authority session. We'll look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks. All the best. Bye-bye.